So first of all, I did find some sari silk, which is in the perfect color of this. I'm thinking now that this one is maybe just a little too bright and takes away a little bit too much from this one. So I'm going to definitely use this. Now it comes in strips. If it doesn't seem to be long enough for a closure that goes right across, then I'm going to sew the two ends together and have something longer. But I'm definitely going to be using this one for the closure. And for going across, I couldn't find anything more in mauve that I have, but I did find a little bit more in the blue that is a little bit smaller. So I'm going to go back to this one and just see what else I might be able to put over top of that with this blue. And then I also found more of this one. And this might be, I think, just a little bit too much of the beige-ish. Maybe I want to put the white over top. Or still going back to this mauve. Like that. And then the blue over top. Now, keeping in mind that, still not happy with that, keeping in mind that I'm having this come through here and on top there. Do I need this blue? I'm not sure. I'll put more of that on the top. Yeah, possibly. Just to keep everything else here down, to have the texture of the different laces, but not interfering with the focus. This is quite possible that I do this. And then once I have this down, I will see then, do I leave this as it is? Because really, I'm going to put a tassel over top. It's not a big deal. It looks pretty good. I might put this down here then. That might be nice. And then you will see this color that will match this, and that might be really pretty. More like that. I might do that. Because really here, if you look at it, there's still some strands, but I need some sharper scissors to just get rid of some more of the little threads that I have here. So that won't be a big problem. And otherwise, I don't think that you can tell that anything happened there, really. So I'm going to go with this. And then this over top. And it will give it, as I said, the texture without taking away from the flowers. And I don't want to go too high up here to cover this flower. So this will be low. So all of this will be low. Now, another thing, possibly I might leave this as it is and just put the whole thing over here. What if I do that? Some of it would come on the sides. I'm not sure if it's enough. And then we would have all this free to see. And just have the texture over here. Now I could pull this more to one side and pull this some more to this side. I mean, they don't both need to be in that center. I could leave it like that. That's very pretty too. And then I could put this in the middle to hold all that down. And then this would be the bulk of the laces. So more like that. And then do I still need this? I could still put it in the center as well. And then have it come over. I do that just to let this be. So I'm going to sew well, I'm not going to sew. I'm going to glue this down first. Let me just measure. I'm definitely thinking now, even though this looks okay, but just because I don't want to be covering anything up over here. If I can get all the threads off. I don't want to be covering up anything here. Everything is pretty. Both has flowers, and I'm going to make sure that the ribbons come over a little bit, even though there's some little blossoms here. Let me see. And then you will have the lace this way instead. So I'm going to cut this. Let me see. I don't know if there's a right side, wrong side, really. I'm not sure. I'm going to cut this one. Okay. This one's going to come more this way. And then let me just cut this one a little bit more straight. This one's going to come a bit more this way. I want it kind of the center. A bit more. Okay, for now, let me just cut it a little bit over here. Okay. And we're still going to go with this one over top in the same color. So that one's going to go in the middle, but I'm just going to measure the height of it right now. Okay. And then this one will come this way, but twice. So just going to leave it a little bit long for now. Okay, so we're done with that. This is going to be the closure, so I'm going to leave that here. And then this one, we can decide afterwards which one of these are we using. Just clean up a little bit here. Yeah, you know, we're doing this all the time, cleaning up and getting little bits off. So that will be on top of that. Okay. Now, do I also want to see what it might look like if I put half here and put this one instead. Would be nicer actually to have this one come over. I'm not sure that you see it enough. I don't think that you see it enough. I mean, this one's beigeish, but for some reason I think you see it more. And then put this one over here. I think you see it more this way. So definitely this way. Okay, so I'm gonna put this from the middle. I don't want it to come too much either to cover the flower. I want to make sure that I have about even amount. It looks like about an inch, and then about an inch there. Seems to be okay. Now whether I'm going to sew in the front here, I might not sew in the front, I might just sew through the middle. And then we're going to put this one over top here and over. And about the middle, right? And then when it comes over, I don't want too much of it either. but maybe a little bit more. Okay, so just sits in about the middle here, which I think looks okay. A little bit more on the bottom, not too much. Okay, and then so putting glue anywhere, I'm going to put a little bit this way. Okay. Okay, so we have this down. After all the measuring this way, we're going this way. Okay, let me just put a little bit more glue over here. Okay, this, of course, this glue takes off my nail polish. Now we are sewing here at the edges, really. Shouldn't be too concerned. Now, where do I want to make sure that it's down? A little bit more over here. Okay. Okay, so we have it pretty well where we want this, and then just getting the glue off my fingers. Okay, and then we'll put this one on top. Now, do I want the scalloped edge? I think maybe this way. Does it matter or no? Let me see. Gonna go right in the center. So, do we even need this? Really? I mean, perhaps not. Maybe we don't even need it. I'm thinking maybe we don't. No. I think we're just going to put this right over top. Now, I don't think I want to sew in here because you will see a line right through it. I think maybe I'm going to sew this first through the center here and then put this on top. So I'll be right back. Hi, I'm back again. I wanted to do a little bit more work on this one today, and then I will probably complete this tomorrow. I did give it a sew in the middle here, where I will still put a ribbon on top, but you can see it here. So I'm not putting in the inside just yet. I have a little more work over here. I did make the little backing for the title frame, and I'm not sure yet whether I might put it right in the center or a little bit low. I'm kind of thinking here, and then instead of putting this as a wraparound, which is nice too as a wraparound, but more I'm thinking of putting that actually under here, and then having it a little bit as a ruffle, and have this extend this way instead. So it is a little bit together with this, but I will try so that, you know, there isn't too much of it. Now I want to make sure that it's in the middle. I don't want it to be sort of lopsided. So let me see. So it's about 7, so 3.5. So about here where it is pretty good. Or we can just move it just a little bit up, just a tiny bit. So it just sort of looks like it continues the purple from here. I don't want to put it on top of the leaves, so I think I will leave it down here is not too bad either. And then just sew it towards over here. Now this can be done after I do the inside. And I can't put this on. I can work on that. So I should have showed you how I made this, but it's really just a little bit piece of cotton, coffee dyed cotton, and then whatever I had left over that I cut off from one of the sides or somewhere, and then I sewn that together. And I did put a little bit of paper in the back for sewing, just so the fabric doesn't get caught, and it just gives it a little more firmness. And then I'm going to glue this on top here and put a little piece of paper in there for a title. Okay, so I have the little piece of paper that I'm just gonna stick in there, and it's well, it's night now, but I wanted to do a little bit more. I know there's more shadows now, so I'm just gonna put glue over here and stick this down somewhere here in the middle. Okay, just let it set a little bit, and I will find the size of this paper. Let me see, looks like maybe just a little bit like this. So you can, you know, just use scissors and trim it down. Okay, so I'm just going to trim this down. And I'm just going to look at it to see how well it fits. Well, it's pretty good. And then since I said I like to kind of fold it over and make it look a little bit more vintagey, but this need for that is twofold, not only just to make it look vintagey, but also to pull it out and write a title, or maybe change it for something else, just so that the owner of this journal can then do what they like with this. So I like to leave it a little bit over, but I make it look like it's just sort of an old piece of paper that's in there, so that will go in here. So we have that. And now for the inside, here, so I have the piece of cotton that will go here. But before I put that down, I will make the sides as pockets. So I'm going to do it this way, and I'm going to try to choose something that's not quite flashy, so to speak, not with a lot of color. So I'm going to choose this side rather than the darker green, because I'm going to put a tag in it, or, you know, the owner is going to add some more things to it. I don't want it to clash too much. So this will fit here perfectly. And then from this side, we do have this beautiful flower if I wanted to put it. But because the front and back already have a flower, I'm going to go with this one here as well. Now it has a little bit of an overlap, so I'm just going to cut that off. Okay. And then let me see if I can pull that off, or because it also has an overlap on the side as well. The scissors, of course, are not the best, as usual. Okay. Just gonna go right down and get all the threads off. We're going to save this for later, or some snippets or something. So this is going to go this way, and let me just see where I might cut this on the bottom. Let's see if it'll, you know, sometimes it will go on, sometimes you just need to cut a little bit more. Okay. So I will use this piece. It's beautiful. I'm going to use this somewhere else. And I'm going to use this one over here. This way. So these will be the pockets. But I also want to line them like I lined this one here with paper. I'm going to line this as well. Now the paper, I don't want it to be too thick or anything. Okay, so now the backing doesn't need to be coffee stain paper. It doesn't need to be anything special. So I'm just going to use a book page that I have left over. And just a little bit on the inside, not quite the same size. Okay. And then I will cut this up, try to get it a little bit straight. Okay. So we have this part, and then over this way. So to make two of these, I'm just going to cut over here and then cut that up in the middle. Okay, so I'll have this over here and this one over here. And I'm going to use the glue stick, and I will also sew it. I know I said I will sew it, but I will tack on just a little bit of fabric tack at the edges as well. Always just to be sure. So I want that sort of in the middle of this piece. And it's not a lot of firmness, but just a little bit extra. Okay, so there we go. That's one, and then the other one. Okay, and the other glue. Okay. And in the middle of this one. And just make sure on the other side that it looks kind of decent. Okay. Actually, I need the glue again. I'm going to be gluing this down. Well, actually, no, I'm not gluing down yet. I'm going to sew a stripe of zigzag on the outside part, or this part where I'm going to be putting in a tag, and this part too. And then I'm going to glue it down onto this once this is on the backing of the journal. So I'm just gonna make these marks. Okay, so I sewn these parts that will come on the outside here, like this. And then once everything's glued down, then I'm going to go right around and I'll pick up the tops and bottoms of that. So that is ready. This is ready. So those are the sides. And now I'm ready to glue this down, because I know what will happen here, what I'll be doing. Now when I'm putting this on top, I will sew through in the front here, like this. And afterwards, after I already have everything, because I don't want these to be caught when I'm doing sewing all around, because it does get caught unless you're, you know, super careful. So now the only other thing I'm still thinking over here to do before I glue it down is I was thinking of putting some ribbon on the edges, because I don't have a whole lot of ribbon over here. I was thinking of putting some ribbon on the edge here. I think that'll look nice. So it'll look like that. And again, I don't want anything to clash with the flowers, so I'm just going to use the beige, because once you put other pages in there too, then you will see more of that as well, and this will just keep everything neutral. So I don't believe that I want anything different than something that will blend in. And then this will go on top of it anyhow, like this. So I am going to put that down now. about, I'm going to let it stick out about halfway. About this much, I think is good. Okay. And then on the other side. Okay, so put some glue over here. And let me see, just to make sure I put about halfway on this one as well. Okay. And look at both sides. Okay, I think we're good. And now I will put this down on top of that. So, I'm going to start in the beginning and use the glue stick on this one. And I'm going to put right away inside here as well. And some of this glue. I don't need to be too concerned again because I'm going to sew right over top of everything. Just going to put a little bit in the middle, not too much. Okay. There, so it's certainly coming together. And I just want to make sure that it's mostly even. Okay. It's a little bit bubbly down here. I'm not too concerned, but I will lift it and see if I can. Now this part will be on the inside, this part here. But it looks pretty good, I think. And there's a little bit bubbly. It's okay because, well, you know, we want it to look vintage. I'm going to put the ridging in here, or I don't know what you call this. Maybe there's a little bit of, let me just check, what is a little bit of thread in here. That has found its way on the inside. Okay. Okay, so we're going, okay. Is there more over here, or no, it's just the glue, so I'm gonna rub that off. Okay, I think we clear this except for where it was sewn. Okay. And just do the last part over here. And a little bit of glue. Okay, so almost done with the inside. Okay. I think we're good. I think it's pretty straight now. I have something over here, if you can see it. Maybe more thread, or just, yeah. maybe just some glue. Okay, we smooth out most of it, and I think we'll be good. Just a little bit more glue in the corner, and this corner. Okay, we're good here. So now I'm going to add the edges that I have prepared here. So now let's make sure that we don't put glue on somewhere where we don't want it. So it will go like this. And of course, as I said, we're gonna still sew around it, but we're getting there with the pocket. And this one as well. We don't want to put glue on this side, so we're just gonna hold it there and then put glue over here. Okay. Okay, I think we're good. I'm not gonna go on and on about it. Just a little bit more of some strands here to get rid of, as usual. I think we're doing good. Now, before I sew all around, do I want to put these on so I can sew at the same time, but because if I sew into this a little bit, it might hold back. Won't be able to. I can glue it, I suppose, some part of it, and just then sew over here where I put it. Yeah, let me just sew this down all around, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I have one here. Where's my other one? Okay, so I have two. And I'm going to be putting the closure on, which is sari silk. And again, we have 7 inches here. So in about 3.5 to 4.5. This is good right here. So I'm going to glue it down. If I can get in there. And put a little bit more on the inside, and then I'm going to fold it like this. And once more, let me see if I can open this up a little bit. Okay, it's about as much I want to put in, and then I'm going to sew it, but I will put a dot of glue, make it stick down like this. Okay, so I'm going to sew over top of that. And now for this, well, I'm not going to put this on yet because I'm going to sew here first. Now I want to put the other one on, and I want sort of a flat part, not go in too much. So I also want to find some sort of metal here. So yeah, about there, I suppose. So I'm going to glue this down here. And make a little fold to make a sort of a ruffle. And that. Just okay. So one more. We're good. We're good there. Just get this little piece of thread if I can get it. Okay. We glue on the other side. Just to tack this down where I want this, which is about there. So this is going pretty well with that, and this will be okay with that as well. So I'm gonna go sew this and just through right here, and then I'll be right back. Now I'm going to just check a little bit, make sure we're about in the same spot, which it appears that we are. We might be a little bit on the bottom side because 3.5 starts here, and probably that should have been a little bit higher, but I don't want to take away too much from this, and I think it'll still be okay. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I did sew in the closures, and because on the spool I have some light colored, like light green or some sort of thread, it just kind of blends in. I did go over this twice just to make sure that it's sturdy. And now I can put in this one, the title frame. And we're just gonna glue this on and then be done for tonight. We're gonna work on the bindings and the tassel tomorrow. Okay, so I don't want it too low, and I'm just going to go this way and see how far away I am. About 1.5 inches from this side to here, and then about only 1 inch from here. So must it be in the middle? But yeah, let's try. So 1 1/4. It's still about 1 here, it appears. Let me see here. Yeah. Okay. Don't want it to be too far off from here. So it's about 1 1/8. And 1 1/8 now there as well to the edge here. Now, do I want it? It seems to be a little bit off, not quite in the middle of this. As you can see, do I want it a little bit higher so that it's more equal with that? But then it's going to come up to the, but I think it looks off. Not sure if I might push it a little bit. I think this is good. And we're going to leave it there, and so that you can then see the closure here. Let me see. Now it's a little bit long. I'm going to leave it for now, and I'll trim it tomorrow. I'll see a little bit better how much I might need. But it's going to look beautiful over here on the side with the sari silk. And I think this is pretty well okay as far as this. We're just gonna press that down and be done with that, because otherwise we could go on with it forever. Now I might add one more thing before I close for the day. Glue this down so that it stays, so it starts to dry. It's dried up for tomorrow. Now, where do I put it? Is it this one? No, it's not this one, right? It's a little bit short. Oh, I think it's over here. And it's that different color, more bluish. So this is just gonna go here like this, and then go to the inside. Okay. Right from the bottom here, over top of where I've sewn, and hopefully that is the middle. of the spine. Let me see. Don't want to be too much of a perfectionist, but I do like things to be a little bit equal. So about a little over ½ inch, and it's about the same. Let me see, maybe a little bit this way. I think we're good. How does it look? Not too bad. So that will be like a bookmark, and then this will come over, and might put a charm or something at the edge of it, or just leave it and let the owner do something with that as they please, or they might trim it right off and do without it. And I'm going to put 2 holes here for 2 signatures tomorrow, and 2 on the bottom with eyelets. And then that will be for 2 signatures, and this is ready. Maybe a little bit of glue on this side. This all seems to be pretty tacked down. A little bit over here. Okay. So I'm going to let this settle overnight, and we'll look at it again tomorrow. Thank you for coming by and seeing this process of making a journal cover. It seems simple, and it's not. It is a lot of work. I know sometimes when the other creators say it's super simple, well, it's not super simple for everyone. So anyways, it does take me quite a bit of time to do a cover. So every single one has a lot of thought in it, and work and attention. So, but I do manage in the end. It is something I love, and I hope to do it for a few years anyways to come. So thank you again. Take care. It's Rosie at RoseByNameCo. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.